Alright, welcome back guys. Welcome back to the channel. So today we'll be learning how to make this chain chomp from Super Mario. Looks good. So let's get started. First you want to do actually is you want to open a new workspace. And here to your left of the screen you have the different options for origins and your planes. You can click this eye icon to disable it and hide it from view. Here on the bottom you have this timeline tree or this family tree. And whenever you add a feature, it will be added to this timeline tree and you can go ahead and edit them as you progress through your model. So looking at the size of the chain chomp is more or less 70 millimeters. So let's make it so it can fit the size of our hand, or the size of our palm. So we click the sphere and we select the plane on which we want to make the sphere on. Once we do that, we select the point. In this case, let's go with 80. And we're going to make this a new body. Go ahead and click OK. And what that does is it's going to produce a sphere. So right out of the bat, we got most of the work done for the general shape of the chain chomp. Now what we're going to do is we're going to construct an offset plane to this sphere, and this offset plane is where we're going to make the sketches. Let's go ahead and make this offset plane 60. 40 is good. And then, as you'll notice, we have under construction our plane. If you want to, you can disable it, just click on the eye icon. Let's say we want to edit this plane. I want to switch it from the orientation it's currently at. So all I need to do is click here, edit feature. And let's say I want to switch from this plane to this plane. Now it's 40 millimeters on this other plane. Perfect. Now we're going to create a sketch. And on the sketch we're going to make a cut for the mouth of this chain chomp. 40. So we made a square, and now we're going to extrude it. So we'll go ahead and click extrude, choose your profile we want to extrude. In this case, we're going to cut through the circle, cut through the sphere in this case. So it kind of looks like Pac-Man right now, and that's okay. That's what we're going for. We cut through this body, and you'll notice now we have the general profile of the chain chomp. So what's next? What you could do next is you can add the eyes. Just go ahead and add the eyes, and to do that, we can go down here and edit our feature for our previous sketch. So we have our previous sketch, and let's, looking at the image of a chain chomp next to me, more or less the eyes are situated to the sides of it. I would say here. So on the shortcut, what we can do is click M for move, or you can go here, click on your mouse on the right, and then just click move and copy. And it gives you the option to move your sketch to your preference. So we have our sketch profile. In this case, it's going to be the eye for the chain chomp. So what we're going to do is now we're going to create an advanced feature where we extrude this sketch onto the body, and by extruding it, we're going to be able to create a curved surface area. Because right now this is a solid body, but it's not curved. So let's go ahead and finish sketch. And you notice under sketches, now we have our sketch profile here, along with our plane. So let's go ahead and extrude our eyes. Before we do that, let's move this body. And it will be necessary for the feature we'll be using in a second. Move and create a copy. And we're going to extrude this now. We're going to extrude in a way that intersects this sketch profile and the solid body, in this case, of the chain chomp. And how does it look like? It looks like this. And we're going to need this to make this curved profile for the eyes. Let's repeat this again. And we'll repeat it with the inner eye. This eye profile. Intersect. And we'll intersect in a way that cuts through the solid object. Now we have our eye profile and our main body. So let's go ahead and move this body back. And with this we can create surface offset on the eye. So right now you notice this is a solid body, and we have under bodies actually 4 different bodies. Body 1, body 1, body 2, body 3, and body 4. But we don't have any profile on the eyes. Let's say we want to create a sketch, or we want to extrude on these eyes, we can. So surface offset allows us to create a surface body on these profiles. And you'll notice when you add these new bodies, these surface bodies, they're directly on the surface of the profile that was there before. So we'll repeat this with the inner eye, and now we can go ahead and thicken it. So thickening is going to create natural thicken on the surface offset. That will give the impression when you 3D print it, and we'll put a thicker layer on it. Just like that. You see how you're now extruding on a curved area? Just go ahead and change these values to your preference. So we have it on one side, and you notice we can repeat the same function on the other side. So let's go ahead and do that. We want to mirror the features we incorporated right here, and we'll mirror it along this plane. And now we have an identical feature on the other side of the chain chomp. If you want to, you can go ahead and combine these different bodies, since you have several bodies here. So we go back to our solid, click modify, and we combine body 1, body 2, body 3, and body 4. And the operation is join. So now, if we take away the body, we will just have our eyepieces. Cool. So what's next? Next you want to make the actual chain for chain chomp. So looking at the axle, the chain is located somewhere over here, right? So let's go ahead and enter our profile over here. And what that will allow us to do is allow us to be able to add that chain. So we're going to put a plane at an angle, and we're going to use this axis right there to create a new plane that is 45 degrees at an angle to this line. And now we're going to construct an offset plane off this angled plane that is 40 millimeters off in the sphere. And if you look at it now we can draw our sketch. Once you're satisfied, you click Finish Sketch, and then you extrude it. But what's different with this feature is we'll be adding an angle to it, an angle to this extrude. In this case, it's called a taper angle. So there we have our 2 taper angles. Bring back our body. And that allows us to do is now we can draw the chain links on this chain base. And we'll do that using a torus feature. And we'll be repeating this feature pretty much for all the chain links. And there you go. There you have your chain. And what's left? You want to make the teeth of the chain chomp. And so the teeth, looking at the picture next to me, you have two rows of teeth, one on the top and one on the bottom. And so the one on the bottom has 5 teeth, and the one on top has 4 teeth. So to do that, we'll be making a 1, 2, 3, 4. So an arch of 4 segments on the top, and an arch of 5 segments on the bottom. So let's go ahead and do that. We first begin with creating a sketch on our teeth. So let's make a circle. And that will allow us to do is, now we have our circle, we can make a polygon. And so with this polygon, we'll be able to make the shapes for the bottom row and for the top row. And so with the polygon, we'll be using lines to assist us. And there you go. So now we have a guide by which we'll be placing these circles and forming our teeth. Cool. So we finish our sketch, and we repeat for the top. And on the top row, we have 4 teeth. So in this case, let's do inscribe polygon. And now we can draw our lines. In this case, we have 180 divided by 4, 45 each. So looking at our sketches, what we need to do is we need to create the profile of the teeth. Since the teeth are a triangle shape, if we extrude it upward, then we still need to cut out the shape of the teeth as a triangle. And to do that, we'll be adding a sketch plane on each of these points where the teeth are. So let's put a plane at an angle. Cool. So we have our points. And now what we'll be doing is we'll be inserting a line along this point. We have a tangent line right there. And so we'll repeat this for each of our points. And we're making these lines coincident and tangent so that they are on the profile I want to include. And let's go ahead and create the plane for these bodies. And now we can go ahead and create our profiles. So now we have our sketch profiles on both sides, and what we can do now is we can extrude. And what I will do is create a segment for this profile. And now we'll do another extrude on this teeth looking profile, triangle profile, and cut into the original profile. And we'll be doing an intersect operation. What we can do is we want to preserve this body, because if we do intersect as it is right now, we'll lose the entire body. So what we can do instead is go to our bodies and hide the 1 and hide body 1. And what that does is, as it's hidden, it'll prevent it from being viewed by Fusion 360 into this intersect component. And as you can see now, once we do the intersect, it will just intersect the triangle, nothing else. So let's repeat this for all the different triangles. This is how it looks so far. So let's go ahead and make the top profile. And so now we can mirror, once we have the profile done on both sides, we can mirror the profile on the other side. And there's your chain chomp. So if you want to, you can make these teeth bigger. That's your preference. Let's go ahead and look at all these bodies. Let's go ahead and combine them so we can simplify our lives. You could combine them if you want to, if not, that's fine as it is. So what's next? You have our chain chomp, and you could add some colors to it. So let's go ahead and add some nice colors to this material properties. Let's save it first. So let's add the material properties, and we go ahead, to do that we go to appearance. And once we click the appearance tab, it'll open a selection here of our different components. So right now we have bodies and components. We only have actually several bodies. We check our bodies. We have 33 bodies, but we only have one component. So we can apply colors and materials to bodies or components, and components and assemblies, which is why a component could have multiple bodies. Or we could apply it to faces. In this case, we have, let's apply it to a component and our body. Let's go to paint, and what we'll be doing is, let's add a glossy finish, and let's just pick blue. And so, as you can see, it applied a glossy blue finish to our component, which is this body 1. So another thing you can do is, if you want to change or edit the shade of blue, you can do that here. Let's say you want to make a darker shade of blue. It's a nice shade. We like it. We can keep it there. Let's go ahead and make the eye sockets. Color for that one. And we have white for the eyepiece. And for the teeth, let's do yellow. Over here we have our eye socket again. Nice. So we go up here to our yellow, and we want to change it so it's a little bit more pale. So let's make it a different shade of white, not too bright as our eye socket white, but just bright enough that we can see it. There you go. That's good. And now we have to add our red for the mouth. Let's put a matte red. In this case, let's apply it only to the face. And there we go. We have a red. Let's change the color to make it more dark. Darker red. Nice. So what we can do now is we can apply material properties and color properties to the chain. Let's do that. We can make this steel brighter. I finished that there. Although the chain does look darker, let's make the chain darker. How about that? Looks better, right? So now that we're satisfied with the different material and color properties, what we can do now is we can do a quick save, and we go to render. And so what rendering does is going to open in a virtual studio where we can play with different features, optical features, reflectance features, and with that we can create a nice picture of our object that's presentable and that's digitally designed. So we go ahead and wait for our rendering studio to open, and that pulls up our studio. So we find a nice suitable angle we would like to render at, and we click on our setups. So once you have a nice angle and setup you prefer, you go to render, and you can initiate the render. And what that does, it's going to basically take all these images, these components that you inputted, and it's going to create and as an output, a professional image with the different lighting, the different angle, the material properties, and the optical properties as well, the reflectance, right here down in the render queue. In the meantime, what you could do, you can go here, capture image, and it's going to save this workspace as an image, so you can have your image saved. So that's pretty much it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.